Beautiful animal. A beautiful country out here, man. Morning. It's Saturday morning. I got this one I'm going out here to do out here in Gay, Georgia. Y'all know y'all been over there 100 times. It's a good place to get drone footage, but I didn't bring my drone out. Well, I got some other stuff I need to do today. I've been working a pretty good bit, even though we have been in another drought. So y'all know that I ordered the high flow fitting. Excuse me, I didn't realize that was there. Y'all know I ordered the high flow fitting for the Kubota, and I put a retail receipt up here for what I paid for. It's $390 after shipping and everything. I could have drove down to the dealer and got it for the same price. Well, why don't you do that, Ray? That's a 2-hour event, and how you gonna, that's a big waste of time. You just order it, right? And a lot of times, that's what I'll do most of the time if I see. But there's always going to be that time where when you're a little bit pressed for time when you're dealing with shipping and all that. So the part came yesterday, like I was saying in the video, and it's not even the right part. So let me show y'all what they sent me, man. I'm so upset about it. Well, number one, it ain't the right part. And number two, it's not only not the right part, but it's a $400 expense too. And that's a big deal to me, man. I ain't got $400 to give to nobody. If you ain't my mama, my granny, or my uncle or daddy, I'm probably not gonna give you $400. So I'm just saying. So I was so upset because I'm waiting on it because I got that brush cutting job next weekend, and they were saying we'd be a week before shipping, and it'd probably be Tuesday before I got it. Instead, I got it on Friday. 3 days with 2 business days before I was supposed to. So let me show you what they sent me, y'all. That's what they sent me. Not even and number one, this is not a high flow female, okay? Number two, this is not a high flow at all. This is a standard flow male. I don't know what these retail for, just this end piece here, but it's probably gonna be in the range of $40 maybe. I tell you what, I was so upset when I got it because, when you start doing stuff like that in the mail and everything, and you don't come out your pocket $400, just a tip to guys that are it's just what I do. Whenever I go online and I order something from anywhere, this happens to be from Coleman Equipment, so they're a good reputable place, But just FYI, when I go online and I order stuff like this, and it's so expensive, what I always do, and people might think I'm crazy, but what I always do is I create an account with the company, and so I can watch the progress of the order. If you check out as a guest on a lot of these sites, you're well, I don't want to say your hands are tied, but you don't have near the control that you have if you got an account. Now I know having all these accounts on different sites and stuff is yeah, but I got a certain card that I use for these kind of things, and it's not my debit card. But I still, was out the $400. So I went on there after when I got it, and I was in shock, man. I couldn't believe it, and then it dawned on me. Well, at first I was like, well, okay, they sent me the wrong part. But then I forgot how much the part cost until at first I wasn't thinking. And for a fitting to be $400, that's stupid expensive if you ask me. So, but I've already incurred the expense. But I called them, man. There ain't no emailing or texting or none of that crap. I called them, got them on the phone, and took a picture of what they sent me. And they were trying to say, you know, well, we sent you what you ordered. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And I was pretty freaking irate too when he said that. Because I'm thinking, oh my God, my nightmares come true. You know, about ordering things like this online. You know, when it's pressing, it's expensive, and it's a certain part. You know, won't just any do, right? So I took a picture. I talked to the manager over the parts, and he sent me a text message and told me to take a picture of it. I took a picture of it, and while we were on the phone, and he looked at my account, and I just opened it, blah, blah, blah. And I really think that he thought that at first that I was trying to pull a fast one. And see, that's what you got to worry about when you start spending that kind of money on these sites for parts like that. And it's a pressing part as far as you need it. And you need it in a time period. And the only reason why I did that was to save me, 2 hours of drive time, because I would have paid the same thing at the dealer, but I wouldn't have had to spend 2 hours on the road, and it's a solid 2 hours too, because the dealer has it in stock. Sometimes it's just worth it to go on down to the dealer and get it. Now, I didn't need it because it's a high flow. Talking to them for 30 minutes, and I tell you what, I was pretty upset about it, man. I was concerned about the $400, and then, if they send me another one with the holiday and all, you have to be, aware of that. So anyway, me and him got to talking for a minute, and he realized, okay, man, this dude, because he really thought. So I sent him the picture, and he said, that's not what we sent you. I said, oh yeah, it is. Here's a plastic bag and all to prove it, And he said, well, that's the wrong thing. I was like, no joke, man. I said, this ain't a $400 fitting, man. Are you kidding me? And anyway, make a long story shorter, they're going to overnight me one, but it's still going to be Tuesday before I get it. And I don't know that I could have got that deep with them if I hadn't set up an account. The holiday being Monday, I thought I would be going over and doing that skid steer job on Monday with the tree and around the building, but I may have to wait till Tuesday. We may not even work on Monday. I don't know. The wife might have some stuff planned or whatever. I'm just, I'm just a character in my own play, man. That's all. If they're not going to be home, then I will go on and do it on Monday. But if they're going to be home with the kids and all running around, I'm not going to go over there and do it. So some people, Labor Day is, a big deal. To other people, it's just another freaking Monday, right? We need one good rain, man. If we could just have a solid good rain, one freaking like a day of just not hard rain, but just a good soaking, and then all night soaking, it would change the game for all of us down here where I'm at. And you guys that watch the channel and are in business down here for real, y'all know what I'm talking about. This is stupid dry. Okay, so here we are. Y'all see it? Look at it. It's got a little dew on it, but y'all remember the last time I was here, it was freaking, it took a lot longer to It took a lot longer than normal. It took me, I mean, it took me over an hour and a half to cut this at 150. So one thing about these steel blowers, and I don't really, is this right here always is popping out. But this blower right here, this is the BR700. It's been a good one. I've had it for about 4 years, you know. Yeah. Another thing, on this adapt system here with the Laser Z, y'all see how the setting I got it on? That's my favorite setting as far as the angle of the deck. I like for the front of the deck to be picked up a little bit higher than the back. Also, it makes it, I think, and I might be wrong, it makes it where you're not so rough on the front of the deck, the wheels and everything, because the wheels are up a little bit higher, you know, the anti-scalping wheels. Those wheels have been on this mower for over a year, and usually I go through them pretty bad. You know, well, the other mower, y'all remember when I bought the wheels for the other mower? Y'all remember that? The deck wheels, they're all of them are busted already. They're already gone. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna ride the perimeter of this yard and just show y'all how big it really is. And how much grass there really is to cut. Usually on this edge, it's about the only thing I touch with a weed eater. But he's even told me I could spray the edge of the driveway. And his son did that one time, but I usually just touch it with a weed eater. But let's go see what we get. Let's just see what we can get into here. I'm trying to find a place to put y'all where y'all ain't all in my way. There we go. How's that? I like it. I like I'll probably like a 2.75 over here to start out with. Can't cut it too low, so that might be. Looking at how much grass is coming out too. I could probably go a little bit lower than that, y'all. So let's do that. Let's go down to, yeah. Have what you want. Moving a nice little clip for that. Ride the property. I go down the edge right here real quick like. It's really an easy property, just a lot of mowing. But y'all see the edge of the bed. See, and I spray all this in here, so get on around here and let's pull it away from the back porch. Yeah, spray working pretty good over here. It had to have rained a little bit. Then what I do is I go up the hill right here between these two things, and I want to go down the fence line. So just pull it off of this line one time. Show y'all what I do. This is the line right here. So normally I would like to blow it that way, right? And I do. But I do it on the second pass when I'm blowing out. I like to go on to find exactly where I'm mowing, and then I'll turn it around. So blowing it into that tall grass, you see what you get. You see, we got it pulled off the beds, off the house, and everything. So but you notice I'm not going back the other way, blowing it toward the house yet. I like to make about 3 passes and then pull it off the house. Yeah, that's a spray. When you see that, you know the sprays work. Everywhere. If it worked there, it worked everywhere. That was a nasty mess right there. Okay, y'all, so I got done with that one about an hour and 15 minutes. I probably saved about 20 minutes over here, maybe. Usually it's about an hour and a half, something like that. But it's a big property, man. It pays $150, so what's that? Well, I was over here about 75 minutes, so that's about $2 a minute, something like that. Yeah. But he was looking at me a little bit sideways. Well, he was saying, well, I started to call you and just tell you that it didn't need it. But I realized that we're going to be getting some rain next week. See, the customer is not going to win every time. I'm not going to let him. If he told me not to come today, and then 2 weeks from now come back over here and it's knee high, well, I'm going to know it's knee high by the weather that we're having in the area, because this grass right here grows fast, but it's just so open. Well, I probably would have ended up going on and dropping him if he'd have done that, because he on the cuff of getting dropped anyway because it's so far from me. So you know, if you're already on the cuff and you start doing that kind of thing, where y'all saw it it wasn't tall, but you know, another day or two, it was gonna really need it. And then if we get rain, it's gonna really need it in 2 weeks. He said, well, I was just gonna have you come next week. I said, yeah, but see, I don't do that. I'm not gonna come in 3 weeks. It'll have to be in 2 more weeks from now, which would be 4 weeks. And that's what I told him. I said, yeah, well, I wouldn't come on the 3rd week no matter what, because I got other stuff to do. Customers don't seem to understand that they're not the only customer out here. And they don't seem to understand that once a guy, you know, a lawn care guy gets his routing all down, that if you move out a week, you done screwed everything up. You know, once it's set. You know, I've been cutting it every 2 weeks the whole summer, ever since April, May. So... And I built around this property as far as, you know, what jobs to do and all that. And if I waited 2 more weeks, it's going to cost me a lot more. Number one, if I waited 2 more weeks and we got rain, there ain't no way I'm coming by myself. So now we done elevated the price, because I would have to, and you know, and I told him, I said, well, I don't normally do that. It would be 2 more weeks. He said, well, I'm glad you went on and came today. And then we just quit talking about it. But what he don't know is that well, I'm not going to be doing it. I'm not going to do it whenever they say. You know, not if they want to keep me on. Now, of course, you know, this customer's yard, their property, they can do whatever they want to do. They're just not going to have me cutting it if they want to do a lot of that mumbo jumbo moving around stuff. Especially when we get to this time of year, because they all start playing games. Not all of them, but playing a lot of little games with the timing and all. And this one being $150, well, and not a $40 or $50 or $60 yard, then they're a lot more proactive in minimizing and making sure that they don't spend any money they ain't got to. But that would be my out if he'd have pulled that. I wouldn't be doing it, and I would tell him that, and then he'd probably have me come anyway. But once you go there with a customer, if you ask me, this is my opinion, once you go there with a customer like that, it ain't never the same. The customer is usually either going to get an attitude, maybe undercover, you know, and then I'm going to always be thinking with an attitude as well. So usually that's the beginning of the end of the relationship with the customer. So, and I like the dude. I mean, he's good people, man. And I've been doing this property about 5 or 6 years. So, but I got to make some calls on the way home and spend this 15 minutes of time most productive, right? So maybe I'll get some shop footage here in a little while. Deuces.